So you would think the week after recording a very controversial video on a driver that is very polarizing in the sport right now, I would go ahead and do a nice softball video that everyone can get on board with, everyone can agree on, but then I go ahead and do a 2021 driver predictions video, because that's not going to ruffle any feathers whatsoever. So what is going on, Daniel Ricciardo's shoeies? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you are all doing well wherever you are in the world. And yes, today I'm going to be taking a look at the 2021 driver lineup, giving my predictions and my guesses as to who I think is going to be filling all of the vacant seats next year in the sport. And it's going to be very dramatic, because there's lots of drivers who don't have seats right now that absolutely deserve to have one, and I'm going to give you my definitive guess as to where I think everyone's going to end up in the soap opera of Formula One. Alright, so why don't we start things off with what we do know for next year. What drivers are solidified and locked into their seats for 2021? At Mercedes, we have Valtteri Bottas signing another one-year contract, and I'm just going to go ahead and throw Lewis Hamilton in there as well. Technically, he's not confirmed, but we know they're talking. We know Lewis Hamilton's going to stay at Mercedes. We're just going to assume he's there because I'm not going to predict anyone else to end up in that seat. At Red Bull, Max Verstappen is the man. He's locked up with Red Bull for next year. And then Ferrari, Charles Leclerc, and Carlos Sainz. I completely forgot that Carlos was moving to Ferrari this year. It's just been absolutely bonkers. I remembered now by looking at the picture that, oh yeah, Sainz is going to Ferrari. I hope he does well, but I doubt he will, because that Ferrari is going to be an absolute dog. And then over at McLaren, we have the meme team of Daniel Ricciardo and Lando Norris. I'm really excited to see Daniel Ricciardo with a Mercedes-powered car. It's really intriguing to see how they're going to do next year, because McLaren has had such an upwards push of progression in the last couple of years, and I'm very excited to see if they can get back up to the top. And then at Renault, we have Fernando Alonso returning to the yellow and black, but next year red, white, and blue, because we're changing to Alpine. But yes, Fernando Alonso makes his return next year. I'm excited to see how he does, and I think we're all intrigued to see how someone who's been out of the sport for a couple of years can just hop back in a car at 41 years old and just drive it. And of course, his teammate Esteban Ocon also locked up with Renault. That's them solidified. And then at Williams, we have George Russell and Nicholas Latifi locked up for next year. There were some weird rumors going around that said that Russell might be out of a seat next year. Don't know where that came from. It was some sort of Italian media site that said he might be out of a seat, which is just blatantly wrong. I guess when Ferrari isn't performing well, the Italian media just need to grab onto something to stir up some chaos on the F1 Twitter thread. But then we get into the seats that are available. And this is where things get really fun. We have Alfa Tauri, Alfa Romeo, Haas, and then one seat at Red Bull, technically vacant for next year. And there's 7 seats available and about 1 million drivers that could possibly fit into those seats and deserve a drive in Formula One. So the team I'm going to start with is the one I am most certain is going to have this specific driver lineup. I'm almost 95% sure that this is how it's going to lay out. And that's going to be Alfa Romeo. I think Kimi is going to stick around for another year. The fact that he's so iffy about it this late into the season tells me that he's likely going to stick around next year. I feel like if he was going to leave, he would let us know much sooner, to the beginning of the season. And I think Gio is out of the sport. I really don't see him fitting into any of these seats with so many more deserving drivers to be part of F1. I think Kimi's teammate is going to be Hulkenburg, your F2 champion. Yes, I said it. Mick Schumacher. I think they're going to bring him in. They want him to develop with Kimi. That's a perfect tandem to go with. It's a very mentorship style teammate. I think it'll work out perfectly for Schumi. It'll be Kimi's last year with the team, and then Schumi will take the team from there. I'm almost certain about that. Now moving to Haas, this is a very intriguing lineup to me, because these are 2 drivers in Romain Grosjean and Kevin Magnussen that have been with the team since its inception, and people have been lambasting them for the past few years to just get some fresh blood into that team. They are not going to do well with those 2 drivers, and it's very clear. With that being said, the first seat I'm going to give to Haas is honestly going to be Kevin Magnussen. We know that Callum Ilott, he's not on the short list for Gunther Steiner and Haas, and there's about 10 other drivers that are on that list. I say K-Mag sticks around just to complement his teammate and help him get up to speed. And then as we go into 2022, they're going to replace Kevin Magnussen with someone else, maybe Ilott or Schwartzman, when the new regulations come in. Now accompanying Kevin Magnussen in the Haas seat. I really think it's going to be Hulkenburg. Sergio Perez. I'm going to put him in Haas because I don't see him landing in the Red Bull Driver Academy. I think he's a good fit for Haas. He's consistent. He scores good points. He's good on his tires. And that's the kind of driver that Haas wants. They don't want someone taking risks like Nico Hulkenburg. They want someone that's just going to drive the car, drive it well, and get them consistent results. And I think paired with Kevin Magnussen, that's a solid lineup because Kevin has talent. But I think paired with Roman, it's just they have that friction. So I don't think any F2 guys are going to get the shot with Haas. That's my prediction for the Americans. Now, okay, you got me. I know exactly what everyone clicking on this video came to see. That's why I left it till the end to keep everyone waiting. It is the vacant seat at Red Bull and the vacant seats at Alfa Tauri. They are such an intriguing 3 empty seats. It is going to be an absolute bloodbath to see who gets in. And honestly, at Red Bull, if you watched my video last week, you know I think Alex Albon is going to stay with Max Verstappen for at least one more season to prove himself. I really think he needs time to develop his qualifying pace a bit, and hopefully they can at least get the aero of the car next year where it needs to be to make it a bit more stable. And I think that is when we're going to really see the true colors of Alex Albon. And if he doesn't perform next year, all said and done, I think he will be out of a seat. But I think it's going to be Verstappen, Albon for next year. Please don't kill me. And then AlphaTauri, where the 2 vacant seats, we could have a million possible combinations of teammates and you still wouldn't please everyone. But it is going to be an absolute bloodbath to see who gets those 2 seats. And initially I was believing that Yuki Tsunoda would get one of the seats next year because of the fact that he will have enough super license points, hopefully, from F2 this year to drive in F1. I say he's going to be a reserve driver. I say he stays in F2. He's going to be a reserve, and I think that's fine for him. I think if he gets those FP1 sessions in and really learns the car and gets himself ready for 2022, that might be the best bet for AlphaTauri to get him ready for the regulation changes, but we still have 2 seats to fill. So my first seat, I think Pierre Gasly sticks with the team for this year. There's nowhere else for him to go. All the seats are going to be filled. If he wants a seat in F1, unfortunately, it's with AlphaTauri. I think he would be far better off elsewhere, but that's where he's going to end up. And then his teammate, don't call me crazy, is going to be Nico Hulkenburg. This is my whole master plan here. I am the new boss of Red Bull. This is my master plan. You keep Albon in the Red Bull for the season. See if he's up to snuff for 2022 for the regulation changes. Hulkenburg, in the meantime, is at AlphaTauri, developing, learning the car, learning the system, learning the team, getting used to the Red Bull program. And that way, if Albon does not perform, he's not up to snuff for 2022, you pop Nico Hulkenburg into that new car and you have Verstappen, Hulk for 22. I don't think for a second that Red Bull is going to be as reactive when it comes to their second drivers, because when it comes to shareholders, when it comes to the optics of the team, 2 guys failing in 2 years is not a good look for Red Bull. They want Alex Albon to succeed as much as Alex Albon does because they don't want to look like fools. They don't want to look like a team that just kills second drivers. That is my prediction for how next year is going to go. Call me crazy. This is just kind of how I see it laying out. But man, talk about an intriguing season. Alright, so there's another one done, dusted, in the books for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed making it. Feel free to follow me over on Twitter at the Apex F1. The link is in the description down below. I love having all the conversations about all the races over there. Feel free to lick the stamp, send that subscribe button down below, drop a like if you really liked it, and don't miss the Apex. Peace.